Hello and welcome to my in-depth guide on AP Seraphine mid lane. This means no Moonstaff, just full-on mid lane mage. So, gonna start off with runes first. I'll list them all and then explain each of them one by one. Summoning Area, Mana Flow Ban, Transcendence, Scorch, Biscuits, and Inspiration Boots. And then for the three things, I go Star and then Flex Defense. Full AP Seraphine, why such a defensive rune page? Well, Seraphine's weakest time is in the early game with long cooldowns and low single damage. This rune page focuses on a stable laning phase. Mana Flow and Biscuits will solve mana problems, especially against mana-less champions like Yone and Yasuo. Transcendence is required as Seraphine needs to be firing abilities constantly. I picked Summoning Area not for its defensive properties, but mainly for its offensive properties when it has Scorch. This allows Seraphine's normal attacks to be even more devastating, as now an area will go flying at them, and it will proc Scorch. I used to run Cosmic Insight, but it no longer gives ability haste, it actually is only for summoner spells. So movement speed boots are what I switched it to, and I think they are much better, more beneficial. Also, I've had many games where someone walks away with little HP and then my area goes flying at them and finishes them off. So for items, you'll want to start Doran's Ring and 2 HP pots. I'll list my core items first and then explain each of them one by one. Leandry's, Sorcerer's Boots, and then Cosmic Drive. Leandry's Mythic. Why? Because Everfrost is great, but does require enemies to get somewhat close and is an active item, which some people can struggle with remembering. Luden's feels outclassed with the minion clearing of Leandry's being much better, and I prefer the Mythic passive of Leandry's, which is ability haste per legendary. Sorcerer's Boots are better than haste boots, as they give magic pen. And our second core item is Cosmic Drive, which gives a lot of haste and movement speed. Even if the enemy is not building any MR, Sorcerer's Boots are still good, as champions are still gaining magic resistance as they level up. Unless it's Thresh. Poor Thresh. Cosmic Drive, as I said, gives a ton of haste and movement speed. This allows your abilities to have more uptime, and the movement speed will help with dodging skill shots and running for your life. While his bonuses only activate after 160 AP, you'll already be past 160 AP once you finish it as your second or third item, depending if you want to buy Boots first or Cosmic Drive first. So after building Leandry's, Sorcerer Boots, and then Cosmic Drive, you have the next two best options, which are either Monolacrum or Rylai's. Rylai's will cause a single E, not an encore E, to stun someone, and Monolacrum is always good as it has grievous wounds. Sometimes though, Void Staff is a better choice. If you notice, there are just immense amount of magic resistance being built already, then you should start building Void Staff right away, after your second or third item. Demonic Embrace is good, but I do not use it. While yes, it does cause enemies to burn per max health every 4 seconds, and you gain armor and magic resistance, it doesn't feel worth it. Zhonya's Hourglass, of course, it is ability power, armor, ability haste, and you have stasis. Zhonya's is only 2600, which makes it a pretty good item, or 2600. And Banshee's Veil is basically the same thing, but instead of stasis, you get a spell shield. Of course, you build these respectively, even if the enemy team is pretty magic heavy. Sometimes Zhonya's will be better than Banshee's, as going in stasis is pretty important. So Rabadon's Death Cap is 120 ability power and increases total ability power by 35%. Now this is where the math gets a little problematic. In some instances, Rabadon's Death Cap is a better option to buy before Void Staff, but sometimes Void Staff 70 ability power, and 40% magic pen will actually help you do more damage than buying death cap. This is where having to check your enemies, what they're building, or what items they already have, is very important. Depending if they are building no magic resistance, your sorcerer's boots are okay for your magic pen for now, and death cap will be a pretty good 3rd or 4th item. If they are starting to build magic resistance other than mercury treads, then void staff is a must pick. So gonna list everything off. Start off with Doran's ring, double health pots, and a stealth ward of course. Unless you're crazy, then you can try Oracle Lens. First back, always try to get a lost chapter. After you buy your lost chapter, it's whatever you want. You can buy a tier if you truly think you need the mana. I only buy it when I'm facing off against Yasuo or Yone. I usually will go lost chapter, dark seal, finish Leandri's, go to my boots, buy Mage Eyes, and then go cosmic drive, buy void staff, and then everything after is situational. Usually I'll go either void staff or Zhonya's next. Really depends. If they have a very strong burst champion, then I will go Zhonya's. Auto attacking. Just keep auto attacking. Because you have summoning area with Scorch, your basic attacks are very annoying, as you have your basic attack damage, the summoning area's damage, and then area will proc Scorch, making it even more annoying. Another tactic is abusing Sera's passive. If you see your jungle doing raptors or passing by, get close enough to where your abilities will stack notes on them. This will allow you to have even more notes flying at your opponent. Try your hardest not to leave the lane until you have enough for Lost Chapter. Once you have Lost Chapter, all your mana problems will be solved as long as you're not throwing out your abilities randomly. With Lost Chapter, a double Q and E will destroy the caster line, causing a fast push, turning Seraphine into the more dominant wave manager. Or you can just single auto each of the caster minions before the double Q. You can do it after, but sometimes your minions will kill the casters before you auto all 3 of them. If your first back is gold heavy, a Lost Chapter and a Amplifying Tome will be enough to destroy the caster line without autos. You can also buy your Dark Seal. It will also give just enough. Once you finish Leandri's, you can destroy the entire wave almost instantly, allowing you to perma-roam. Once you have Leandri's, your double Q nukes the backline, burns the melee minions, and cannon to low HP, where your E, maybe an auto, will finish everything off. Alright, so easy matchups. Fizz. Without his jungle, he actually cannot burst you down after he sharks you. If he sharks you, double W once the shark comes out. Usually it's safer to do it right after the shark comes out. Because of the way Fizz is, he'll usually use his dodge ability to close the gap and do more damage onto you. But because of your double W, you will actually block a ton of his damage, causing him to be directly in front of you on full cooldowns. When that happens, you just R, E, and then double Q him. Z, stay behind minions, try to dodge Q. Remember that Q loses damage after it hits something, so stay behind your minions. When he presses R, just run straight to your tower and double W when he's about to start his burst. Or you can actually, instead, remember Z will appear behind you, not exactly behind you, but opposite of where he presses R. So if he's on your left side and he presses R, he'll appear on your right side. If he's above you, he'll appear below you, if that makes sense. When he does that, he no matter what will show up, and you can either do a double E onto him or an R onto him. But be careful, as the R has cast time compared to E, which comes out almost instantly. Pantheon is also a very easy person to counter. Pantheon is also a very easy matchup. When Pantheon presses W, which is his leap, you press W back. If you can't react to the W, then W when he starts coming towards you. As Seraphine, you never actually have to go near him, so if he all of a sudden starts moving towards you, he's most likely getting ready to jump. After you negate his burst, simply wait out his E, and then E him back. This will slow him down making you have a much easier time hitting your Q, and keep autoing him until his W is back up. Seraphine's hardest matchups. Akali, unlike other champions, doesn't have to burst immediately. She can slow down the timing in between her combos, waiting out your double W. So best way to deal with her is to play safe, stay as close to tower as possible. If she goes for a tower dive, stay in the center of your tower's range so that she cannot get out freely. She'll at least take one extra turn shot, and only use your double W after she's come under tower and taken the turn's aggro. Yasuo, he can be a very easy matchup if he keeps queuing the wave to get his tornado, as this will cause you to stay near or under your tower. If it's a smart Yasuo, he'll stop pushing the wave in order to make you leave your safety area. Solution is to try keeping the wave near tower, stay away from minions cause he'll do his dash, and being patient, as most Yasuos will eventually go for a tower dive. Yone, same as Yasuo, but even better at diving. Solution is when he E's and starts running at you, remember that he gains ramping movement speed. So E him when he's somewhat close in order to buy some more time, and save W for when he begins his combo. Do not use the W just to get movement speed. Team fighting, never split push as Seraphine. You're making yourself weaker. Even if your teammates don't go in after your 5-man charm, stay near them. Why? So you can get the machine gun notes. Also, never ever stand in front unless the enemy is split up. If it's a 5v5 staring contest, Seraphine has the range to never leave the backline. Also, using your teammates to bounce your R makes it even harder for the enemy to react to. So make sure you're behind your teammates when you start the cast. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions or there's something I missed, make sure to comment down below. Thank you!
Remember to like and subscribe!